Here.
Commissioner Lee?
Here.
Commissioner Rhodes?
Here.
Commissioner Sanders? Here. Commissioner Gould?
Here.
Commissioner Berger?
Here.
Assistant City Attorney Doug Thornley? Absent.
He's expected to arrive in a few minutes.
City Planner Armando Ornelas?
Here.
All right. So we're going to have any public comment. This item is for either public comment on any action item or for general public comment. It is limited to no more than 3 minutes for each commentator. All right, we'll close the public comment section. I'm seeing nobody wanting to do it. So approval of the agenda.
Move to approve as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. And approval of the minutes.
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, approve the minutes. So now we'll move to announcements and committee reports.
Mr. Chairman, in terms of Planning Commission meeting schedule, this will be the only meeting in the month of February. In March, we would anticipate that you will have a meeting on March the 5th, and then we're tentatively looking to schedule a workshop immediately following that meeting on the 5th to review with you the draft zoning code update that staff and Jim Rundle in particular have been working on for some time. So I would ask that you allow for or anticipate a longer evening that night, and then I think we would meet in here for the regular Planning Commission items, and we might then reconvene or bring this meeting to a conclusion and reconvene in the basement of City Hall, where we can have a more informal setting for the workshop discussion.
Armando, are those going to be new codes that we're going to go over? Or?
Well, it's the update of the code that we've been working on for quite some time.
Okay.
And then that would be the only Planning Commission meetings that we would anticipate during the month of March. At this juncture, we don't anticipate a second March meeting.
All right, thank you. Any informational items?
None.
All right, so we'll move to the public hearing items. We'll start with PCN 14054, Sparks Perfect Climate Storage, Karen Melby presenting.
Good evening, Karen Melby, Senior Planner. Before you tonight is a special use permit to allow a mini storage or mini warehouse self-storage building located on a site that's 10.2 acres in a transit-oriented development. You can see on the overhead the purple site. This is the old Lowe's building. This special use permit is a reuse of the former Lowe's improvement building. What they are proposing, here's the site plan. You can see there's the building. Oops, come on. This is the building with the drive-through lumber, and this is their parking lot. What they're proposing to do is this would be the drive. This is the former lumberyard, drive-through lumberyard, and they're going to make this RV storage, and then this would be personal storage area. There'll be, they estimate that it'll be about 200 RVs that could be stored in there in a double-decker kind of storage system. And then they're anticipating about 1,000 controlled individual storage locker areas ranging in size from 5 by 10 feet to 20 by 20. The day-to-day activities will be managed by an on-site staff. The area over here, which is a garden center, it's about 16,000 square feet. They plan to use that as overflow outdoor storage. The existing entrances, exits, and the exterior of the building facade will be basically the same. They just plan to refresh the exterior. Some of the issues that staff identified with this project, based on previous issues that we had with the Lowe's, the first issue was the noise. There are residents to the north of this property, and they had in the past concerns about the noise that the Lowe's operation was conducting, so we wanted to make sure that we still address those issues. Conditions 4, 9, and 10 address the noise impacts, restricting the hours of operation on the north side of the building from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. The next issue is the outdoor storage area, the garden center, and that's condition number 3. We're restricting that to be that the storage is only within the garden center and cannot be stacked higher or stored higher than the existing walls. Landscaping, we put a condition on there, which is condition 6, making sure that the existing landscaping is maintained and is also kept in healthy condition. So if we do identify any sick or dead trees or plant material, we want that replaced before they get their certificate of occupancy for the self-storage project. Condition number 7 addresses that we would like to make sure that before they get their certificate of occupancy and business license, that the exterior of the building has been refreshed. And then condition 12, we added a condition saying that they cannot have any sales in their parking lot. The standard conditions for storage, we added 14 and 15, which doesn't allow people to live in the storage units or operate a business out of the storage units. And then condition 16 addresses the graffiti and dumping. We've had issues with that Lowe's building where people are dumping, they'll go over to, I can't remember what that drop-off place is. There's a place in the Reno that has accepts used stuff, and when they're not open, they've been dumping their stuff behind the Lowe's. So Lowe's put in gates there to control the flow of traffic so that people can't get in the back. So we're asking this operation to keep those gates there so that we don't have this problem of the dumping on the north side of the building or graffiti on the back of the building. Staff is recommending approval with 16 conditions. That concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Let's talk about noise, and let's talk about the weekends, like on 4. They'll mention with that hours of operation. Does that mean Monday through Sunday? Is there any restriction on weekends, especially like on maintenance noise?
Oops.
You know.
Well, which condition is it? Well, the way it's written, we're saying that the noise is for 7 days a week. So they are 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., especially for like noisy maintenance, which would be sweeping of the parking lot or like snow removal. So they only can do those between the hours of 7 a.m. and 7 p.m.
But that's a 7-day-a-week routine.
Yes, and the same with condition 4 and the hours of operation. It's 7 days a week. We didn't see that it was necessary to have different ones for the weekends or like on a Sunday or something.
But yeah, we did have some previous problems with the apartments to the north complaining about noise.
Yes. What was happening is they were doing their deliveries in the middle of the night. So then you had the backup beepers and the unloading of the big trucks for the Lowe's. So, I mean, we're not going to have that kind of big trucks come in and doing loading, but I just thought, just to be safe, we would still add those conditions.
Mr. Chairman, I got a question. I don't know whether it be for the applicant or for you, Karen, but on the site plan, it says access to and from Silverado Boulevard to be maintained. What do you mean by maintained?
They
And
don't.
the same with all the egress and...
Yeah, they're going to just they have that access on the basically northeast side of the building, and they want to maintain that. They don't want it to be closed off.
Okay, that's,
Yeah.
I mean, no improvements on that.
No,
Okay.
There is not really any site improvements that needs to be for this operation.
All right, thank you, Karen. Is the applicant here and would like to speak? Please state your name.
It does.
You guys have really upgraded this message.
Yep.
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, thank you. For the record, Rob Joyner, I'm a member in good standing with the American Institute of Certified Planning, and wear that badge very proudly. I'm here tonight representing Sparks Perfect Climate Storage, and I'd like to introduce, and they'll be speaking, some of them in a moment, the principal partners in that operation: Jim Kubica, Steve Taylor, Tom Metcalf, who is also the general contractor, and Todd Lankenau is our designer. He's with Collaborative Design Studio. He's put this design together. This repurposing of the Lowe's, we're very thankful that Lowe's Corporation has done a great job, and not just this store, but throughout the country. When they close the store, they maintain it. The guts of that building, the HVAC, everything is in really good shape. So it makes it easy for a client like you're going to hear tonight come forward and do something like that. It's very good because we, in other communities where I live right now, Carson City, we've got an old big box Super Kmart, and that's not the situation. It's almost a tear down now, and some of you might be familiar with that. But this is very good. This is in good shape. So this former big box home improvement indoor lumber and garden center will be repurposed. We believe it will be compatible with the neighborhood, that it'll be a good use economically for Sparks. And we also at this time want to thank Karen and her staff and all the city department that we've met with on several occasions. As usual, as I've experienced in my career when I was here, done a very good job, very comprehensive in their analysis, very fair in their conditioning, but looking out for your community. And these conditions are mitigating the issues that you've identified in a very fair way. And Mr. Camarado and Ms. Lean, you've mentioned the noise. Tom Metcalf and Todd Lankenau are going to go through the project for you, and I think they'll answer some of those questions. But we are very well aware of the prior use and the issues with housing authority to the north, and those will be mitigated. There won't be the big trucks, as Karen mentioned. There'll be just individuals coming and going. All the uses will be indoors. So I'll let, if I could, with your indulgence, Mr. Chairman, let Mr. Metcalf and Mr. Lankenau give you a brief presentation. Thank you.
Please just state your name for the record, sir.
Tom Metcalf, sir. Thank you very much, Rob. Karen, you did a great job. I don't think I need to do anything else. We did win plans on foam core, but I didn't know, Karen, if you wanted to throw them up on the overhead also at the same time. Do you have all?
Won't fit on our document.
No, I don't need these. Okay. And again, thank you very much, Rob. Thanks for the introduction. As going to work. This first drawing, as you saw before, is our affected site plan. Approximately 10.2 acres. The building is approximately 212,000 square feet, including the outdoor garden center. Also, just want to note this back areas, we do plan on keeping the access on to Orvada Street and also back around between the Goodwill and the Lowe's, and we will continue to keep the gates, not only because it's the right thing to do, but it's necessary for our operation. But this shaded area here, just to let you know, our zoning for storage says we need 68 parking stalls. We're shading approximately 96 parking stalls for the use of this building. If I could, you want to take the next plan? Thanks. Yeah, we'll let Rob do it. He's done this before. And again, as Karen showed earlier, the west side of the building, which is approximately 60,000 square feet, which was the old lumber drive-through from the old Lowe's, we are going to do RV, boat, trailer, toy storage. It is our plan to rack above the RVs also. Again, everything will be done inside as we talk with staff and we've reviewed the existing plans. There's a trench drain with a sand oil separator, so if we did any washing or cleaning, we do it inside. Anyway, it's already set up for that, which is great. In the middle part of the building, which is, I call the old sales floor. There's approximately 100,000 square feet on the first floor. This will house approximately 770 individual units. It could be more, it could be less. Also, I'll show you with our mezzanines, there's definitely more square footage up there. We could go to the next plan. We'll show the mezzanine. Again, as I talked, we've got the mezzanine here on this side. This was originally built by Lowe's to store their appliances, so it's already rated for 125 pounds a square foot, which is the rating that we would need for storage. And also, here's the second floor offices with a 2,500 pound fully ADA elevator. So what we're looking upstairs possibly is what we call a concierge storage, which would be possibly wine, or the gentleman said maybe Cuban cigars when it become legal. Okay, Thomas, you. So again, we're also looking on the mezzanine side, working with UNR and their student housing department, and there's a trend now, and I know that because I moved my daughter in and out for 4 years at Arizona State, that they basically will roll totes in, and the kids can fill the totes up and put a lock on it, and then the moving company pulls the loaded totes and stores them until the kids come back to school again. So we're looking at possibly forklifting those up and stacking those up on the mezzanine. Yeah, let's go back to that page, I'm sorry. And again, as Karen said, this outside area here is approximately 24,000 square feet. The walls on three sides are pretty much 24 to 26 feet high. Anything that we would do would be completely screened and not visible from the outside. And we would utilize these gates right over here for ingress and egress for the overflow storage. Sorry about that. Take these two off now. And here's our elevations, as Karen said, or as Rob said, Lowe's has done a great job. They literally say corporate that if they close a store and still own it, they have to maintain it as if it's an open store. So it's in great shape. We plan on refreshing the exterior, plan on putting our signage where the old signage used to be, kind of in the same place, over to the east, and then in the south facing where the original main Lowe's sign was. Also, just to let you know how well of a job they do, there's it's now going on 3 years, but there's basically a brand new TPO roof on the whole roof of the building that was put in 2012. So, which is great for us because they replaced an almost 20-year-old roof. And they had already closed the building when they replaced it. So it was great. Are there any questions? I think that's about it.
Yes, just a quick question. You mentioned at the study session the fact that these are climate controlled, which is the selling point from your standpoint. Does climate control include humidity control?
In the industry, it does not. Now, we would do humidity controlled in, say, wine storage or cigar storage or specialty storage. We have actually visited climate-controlled storage facilities where they have those are separate areas. But typically, it is temperature-controlled, sir.
So does that, in the industry, does that cause an issue with a closed box, which presumably has little ventilation, if humidity becomes an issue?
Well, of course, in our situation up here, humidity is pretty easy to mitigate, but we would have fresh makeup air. We're going to run our full HVAC systems, so I don't see a problem.
Is the top of these individual units is open?
They are. In the industry, this is called a conversion, and what we'll do is we're working with a company called Janus International. They're the world leader in outside storage and inside what they call conversions or hallway systems. What we'll do is work with Janus. They put, basically we call it a bird screen over the top of the whole units, and then what we'll do is we're going to put cameras on the columns of the building, And then what that allows us to do is utilize the existing fire sprinklers, the existing lighting, and the existing HVAC. But we will have a state-of-the-art security and camera system in the building. And nobody will be allowed in the building unless we have staff in the building.
Thank you.
And one more time for the audience, the name of the place?
Here, yeah, it shows the logo. Perfect Climate Storage. So this is the logo that we've come up with in the name, and we have already registered with the Secretary of State.
Mr. Chairman, what is the word refresh the building? What are you going to do to the exterior of the building?
Well, it's got a brand new roof, so we don't need to do anything to that. We will take all of the steel pieces, and if they need to be repainted, we will repaint them. Obviously, any of the places that have been painted over for the graffiti, we'll go from a cut, I call it a cut line to a cut line, with a common color of paint. We plan on actually using the same colors and not changing the colors. But a lot of the integral color stucco is in great shape above what I guess I would call the graffiti area.
Right.
So
that's what you do, is repaint those areas that...
yes, we also plan on in the parking lot, slurry sealing and restriping and refreshing the landscaping and making sure everything works.
Yeah, that's great. And then the landscaping, like you said, prior to CBO, they've got to get it up to code.
And the good thing, sir, again, Lowe's has been taking care of the landscaping. Maybe not 100%, but a lot better than abandoning it, for sure.
Sure.
Any more questions from the commission? All right, well, this is a public hearing item. If there's anybody from the public that would like to speak on this item, have 3 minutes. Seeing none, we'll close the public comment, bring it back to the commission.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. First of all, I'd like to say this is an excellent location. It's a well-known area, Artie Boulevard. I don't think anybody within Truckee Meadows doesn't know where Artie Boulevard is, and it's in Sparks. So with that, I move to approve the special use permit associated with PCN 14054, adopting these findings S1 through S6, and the facts supporting these findings as set forth in the staff report, subject to the conditions of approval 1 through 16 as listed in the staff report.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, passes.
With your project.
Good luck, good gentlemen. All right, moving along now to PCN 12022, Olympia Gaming LLC. Jim Karen Melby presenting.
Karen, 1 second.
It's in the report.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Point of order, if we could just, there were 2 letters of objection that we received on the previous issue. From Perlman. Should that have been in the record?
I think it's, part of the record because we received them.
It's also in our staff report.
It was attached to the staff report.
Yeah, so it's part of the staff report.
Anything extra to
We're okay.
Thank you.
put in the record.
Why is
Sure.
this not moving?
All right. So moving along now to PCN 12022, Olympia Gaming LLC, Karen Melby presenting.
I can't point out anything. I don't know what's going on.
You can't point it.
No, look, it doesn't acknowledge me. Good evening, Karen Melby, Senior Planner. Before you tonight is a request to extend existing special use permit for a 201-room resort hotel casino on a site 12.6 acres located at the Legends. I can't really point out on here, but down below here,
Right.
If it worked.
is the two casino, hotel rooms, and then up here, behind where it says proposed theater, which is not proposed anymore. This obviously was approved before the theater was constructed. That is where they proposed to put the casino. This was approved on March 7th, 2013 by the Planning Commission, and condition number 2 approved this with 2 years unless construction hasn't begun, which is the situation, so they may request a 1-year extension. So that's what's before you tonight, is they're requesting their 1-year extension. The extension of the special use permit, if you do approve it tonight, would be to February 5th, 2016. That concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Karen? Is the applicant here?
For the record, Mike Raley with Rubicon Design Group here on behalf of Olympia Gaming. I'll just kind of hit the high points. I know we discussed this at your study session. The question arose how the project could be built based on the change in state law requiring 300 rooms. As we explained, Olympia has acquired the license from the Mint Casino in downtown Sparks, and will be transferring that license from that redevelopment area to this redevelopment area, which will allow the project to be built as conditioned with the 201 rooms. Would like to state for the record that we plan to build exactly as approved and conditioned under the special use permit. We'll fulfill all the obligations that we had under that. I believe you received a copy of the Gaming Control Board's approval letter that No. Well, I apologize. I can put that up on the overhead if you need it.
Maybe.
Showing that it was indeed approved by Gaming Control on January 14th.
Of this year?
Of this year. So,
And put it back on.
and, we're anxious to get going with the project. Obviously, some of the financing is tied to this extension to show that the entitlements are in place. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
See if it'll go back.
I never got that in my package.
Which is going to mess me up for my other presentations, huh?
Could you put up what you just had on?
She's trying to...
It won't work.
Okay.
Here,
Doug says he can vouch for it, so he's seen it.
it won't work. It's locked up.
Yeah, Armando, yes.
I think to Assistant City Attorney Doug Thornley's point, the letter, doesn't state much other than that it's been approved. I mean, you would need a lot more documentation beyond that letter to really, get at what was approved. But I think
Do you want us to read the letter?
It would suffice to say that, we can verify that the approval was granted, and that's really all you need to say at this point.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions for the applicant?
So I think I heard you say, and nothing has occurred that changes any of the conditions that were approved 2 years ago.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we're bound by the approval, and then we're actually bound by Red's handbook that requires the rooms and amenities as well.
In architecture.
And architecture and all that.
The clarification,
I think for the commission is that there is a particular number of licenses that were issued before 1996 that don't carry with them a hotel requirement to establish non-restricted gaming enterprises. The Mint was one of those, and when it's a governmental displacement, the Mint was closed as part of the redevelopment effort. So when it's a governmental displacement, the Gaming Control Board can approve the transfer of that license essentially anywhere within the municipality. And in this instance, the Olympia Gaming has acquired it and is elected to move it here. And that's what prevents them from having to follow through with the 300 rooms. So in the eyes of the state, they don't have to build any rooms. The 200 rooms is a zoning requirement for the city.
Gotcha.
And Mr. Raley has said that they intend to build those rooms.
So you mentioned, just for clarification, that it was from redevelopment agency to redevelopment agency, but it really wouldn't have made any difference. It could have gone anywhere?
In my view, it could have gone anywhere. I think there are some others who would argue that it needs to go redevelopment area to redevelopment area.
Either way, we're covered.
I understand.
I'm prepared to make a motion.
This is a public comment item. Is there somebody from the public that would like to speak on it? Okay, seeing none, I'll close the public comment. Bring it back.
I'd like to make a motion to approve PCN 12022 to extend the special use permit to February 5th, 2000,
For maximum 1 year.
maximum 1 year, 2016.
Second.
Got a motion and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, motion carries.
Good luck with your project.
Need rooms.
All right, now we'll move to the general business part of the meeting. PCN 03080 Lennar Homes. Looks like Karen, you're on again. Maybe.
Maybe. She is on. Very nice.
I shut it off, hoping that, just like when you always have problems with your computer, maybe it would reboot. Good evening, Karen Melby, Senior Planner. Before you tonight is the architectural elevations and fulfillment of Condition 22 for DeAndrea Phase 3 tentative map, and these are for the Village of Trento. On the DocuCam right now, the outline here in cross-hatching is the DeAndrea plan development, which is 831 acres. This is Vista Boulevard, just to give you a vicinity. And what I did was this is the plan development, and I have outlined in red where Trento is in this project. They are proposing 4 plans, ranging in size from 1950 to 2675, and there's 3 elevations of each of the 4 plans. Staff is recommending approval. That concludes my presentation.
All right, any questions for Karen? Is the applicant here and like to speak?
Well, I thought that was good.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Oh, good.
There you go.
Come on
Good.
up.
Yes.
We're moving up in the world.
So my name is Max Halton with Lennar Homes. Got my assistant Kate here.
Very good.
No, we have no.
Kate, are you drawing overtime tonight?
Sort of.
Okay.
Big Mac.
No, we worked hard to engineer this architecture to align with the plan development handbook and the architectural design guidelines for DeAndrea. And we worked with staff, gave them a preliminary review, received comments, and incorporated those comments prior to bringing the package to you guys as a commission. So I've got no further comments, but I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have. Thank you.
Any questions for the applicant? Is there any discussion from the commissioners? All right,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. I move to approve the architectural building elevations within Phase 3 of the DeAndrea Plan Development and fulfillment of Condition 22 of the tentative map associated with PCN 03080.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
Good luck.
Good luck. All right, moving along to PCN 04051 Ryder Homes. Let me guess, Karen Melby.
Yes! Good evening, Karen Melby, Senior Planner. This is, again, architectural review of the buildings, our homes, elevations for Miramonte, and this is in fulfillment of Condition 24, the tentative map. The proposed elevations consist of 5 different floor plans. I wanted to outlined in red is the Miramonte plan development, and I've cross-hatched generally where the location of is where they're looking at doing these homes. Here is outline the lots that they're looking at for doing these homes. There are no specific architectural style that's in the Miramonte plan development handbook, but the architectural building, the proposed architecture includes building styles, forms, size, material, colors, and roof lines that are complementary, and are the existing materials, trims, cornices, and shutters are unused on all 4 sides of the building. It is also important to point out that the proposed plans are consistent with the design and character of the other homes that are already in Miramonte. Based on that, staff has worked with the applicant on these designs of these built homes, and staff is recommending approval. That concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Is the applicant here and like to speak?
My name is John Schroeder. I'm the project manager for Ryder Homes on this community called Ventana. And really, I think the plans are self-explanatory. We've worked pretty hard to come up with some exciting Vogue designs, and so I'm really here just to answer any questions you guys might have. You look good. Thank you.
I have a question. Just kind of a directional question. We all went through a period of time after 2007 and 8 where if there was either no development or it was smaller homes with less amenities to try to find the marketplace. Is this a step back towards more amenities and larger homes, or is it a continuation of what occurred in 2009 and 10 and 11?
Interestingly, our current project up there, La Tierra, was designed in 2009, and we opened that in September of 2010, and it was just what you described, smaller homes, minimal amenities. We really were competing against short sales and foreclosures. Right. Today, that's not the case, so this is really returning to a more normal housing environment. The homes are a little bit bigger, and we are trying, not so much amenities, but we're just trying to have within the homes a design that we think is what the buyers desire. For instance, each one of these has comes standard with a covered loggia. We know there's a lot of interaction between the indoors and outdoors, so if we provide this covered loggia as standard, we think people will appreciate that. So it is putting more in the houses, which is where the trend is going today.
Thank you.
All right, bring back any more questions? All right, do we have any discussion? All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Ready for a motion? All right. I move to approve the architectural building elevations for the Miramonte plan development pursuant to condition 24 of the tentative map associated with PCN 04051.
Second.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Good luck.
Thanks, John.
All right, we'll now open up for public comment.
And we have a young lady out here in the audience.
Distinguished guest, would you like to speak? All right, I'll close public comment. Seeing that. Any comments for the commissioners?
You did a good job, Mr. Chairman, tonight for your first meeting.
Well, I had a good role model with Barbara.
Very good.
So.
And Art set it up for me.
Well, we won't say thanks. We won't go that far. So entertain a motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Any second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Very good.
Thank you.
Very good. Yeah, very good.
Professional. Cheers. Yeah.